Today's video is on how to crush your quarterly traction EOS rocks in your MSP using TopLeft. My name is Wim Kerkhoff. I'm the founder of TopLeft, as well as two MSPs here in Canada, Kerkhoff Technologies and Crafty Penguins. This is kind of a part two. I did a video on traction and using that in an MSP. So you can, if you're not familiar with traction at all, you may want to get that for an introduction to traction. And I've shared stories there on my journey of using it the last 10 years in my businesses. And obviously I love traction, as you can see from my back wall. So I got the book cover up there and love the book. I've bought many copies, which I give to my team and to clients, different people. This topic of rocks is a core part of traction. Obviously there's a lot more to it, accountability and scorecards and all sorts of things, vision. But the rocks are key, and with great execution and flow on these, that's key to a positive culture where everyone is winning. If we're only hitting our rocks half the time or less, they're not getting done completely, or people are being overwhelmed, that's an issue, and it's a poor culture. So getting the rocks done consistently builds momentum and movement towards those 3-year goals and the 10-year targets, the big, hairy, audacious goals that we set. There's many pitfalls to getting the rocks done that I've run into, and I'm sure I'm not alone. It could be poor accountability, the wrong person. We weren't clear on the outcomes. It was really more of a wish, but not clear objectives and outcomes of it. Or perhaps we bit off more than we can chew, considering everything else going on, or maybe we weren't committed. So today I am going to talk about what rocks are, that concept of 90-day rocks, how to set up your team to win on these, leveraging your PSA to get her done, and how you can visualize them in TopLeft to keep them alive and rolling along. So what is a rock? The analogy comes from, may have heard this before, of, let's say you have a jar. So you see in the picture there, if you put in the water first, or perhaps beer or whatever your favorite liquid, you're not going to be able to add anything else to it. It's completely full. And you won't even be able to get the leisure things, the distraction things. But if we do this the other way around, or we do, let's say we put in our 5 rocks in the jar, you can still get the pebbles in between the cracks on the rocks, and you can still pour the sand in, and you can still pour your liquid in around that. So it's about the big priorities in life, and in specific now in our business. And get those in place, and then the small task will still fit in around it and get done. And so with the traction EOS system, the idea is having 3 to 5, perhaps even less, maybe a bit more, but the idea is 3 to 5 per quarter. So you plan it, do it, and then reflect what went well and what didn't. What can we learn for next time? And then you set new rocks. Example of rocks might be in a tech company, switching antivirus vendors, switching firewalls out for clients, improving the technician onboarding experience. Maybe one quarter, we really want to focus on that and get that up because it's holding us back. Maybe it's hiring your first salesperson or marketing person or technician if you're really small business, just getting going. And we need to think about the role, the qualifications, the training they need, the onboarding plan. So maybe it could be 100 hours of effort. Developing new pricing and packaging, evaluating new backup disaster recovery vendors. Or it could be a marketing project, like we want to get 10 client testimonials and get them online on the website and share those out. So this is not a 5-hour thing. It's not doing on the side of your desk. It's a serious effort, and it often is a team effort as well. So we want to set up our team to win. Number 1 on that is be crystal clear on the why and the SMART results, the specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and timely. To get that on paper and documented concisely so that we can look at it every single week as we report back on them, taking actions on them. At the end of the quarter, we should still be on the same page as to what we had agreed needed to be done. Number 2, design for early and ongoing results. We don't want to think we're on track to getting it done and then in the 3rd month, at the end of the quarter, realizing we're way off track. So we want to be able to get something coming out every single week, ideally, a small step. Number 3, visualize it. So it shouldn't be hidden in your desk drawer with your VTO, but it should be keeping it visual. I'll be mentioning in your meetings, but if you can find a graphic or visualization, that will help as well, keeping it alive in existence. Number 4, integrate to your daily workflow. This is not something that happens on Saturdays or Thursday night or a rainy day. It's part of what we do every day. It's part of your 40 hours a week. It's integrated in, prioritize it, schedule it in the calendar, make it real. Number 5, design for teamwork. So it's not everyone having their own rock. It's a solo effort. Ideally that they're working together to get it done. It'd be more efficient if you work together to get one rock done and then on to the next one, than each one playing their own golf game, trying to move it forward. Number 6, less is more. Often we have too many rocks or they're too big. So cut it back, perhaps even uncomfortably so, but then be committed to wake up every day and get that done. So that's setting up the team to win, to have a winning culture. And sometimes you gotta start really small, and then as you get the proven track record, you can build it up and take on more audacious rocks. So how can this be visualized? Leveraging your PSA to win. Simplest, the level 0, which is not good enough at all, is tracking your time as a charge code in ConnectWise, where you're managing everything else on paper or Word or SharePoint or OneNote somewhere else. The next level up is at least have one ticket for each rock. Perhaps with a budget, you could use your checklist or your task list in your PSA, ConnectWise, or Autotask to track some of the deliverables on it, the tactics. Next level up is you have a project for each rock with a ticket per tactic. Some companies do one project for each quarter with a phase. I think it's better to have a project for each one because it could be different owners. So let them manage that project in ConnectWise with all the tickets. And then you can put your time against it. You can report on it. You can see that it's moving ahead. And then ideally break down the tactics so somebody can grab that ticket, work on it, and be done, perhaps even in the same day, that it's the 5 to 10 hour chunks and not a 100-hour ticket sitting there that's going to be open for months and months. And then next level up is using project templates to standardize the rocks. How do you set it up, the reporting, the project management, the completion, the presentation, whatever it might be. And then in your templates, you could define links to SOPs in your wiki or IT glue, whatever it might be, around key things with the rocks. So ideas there on leveraging your PSA. And then how could you visualize it? So there's obviously using TopLeft, there's a number of ways. You could, if you have your rocks in project in your PSA on a specific board, you could then set up a Kanban in TopLeft just to look at that project board and show all those tickets. So you can filter by that board. You can visualize neglected work. So which rocks are lingering? Which ones are falling behind? Which tickets haven't had time entered? Those sorts of things. So define for your team, what does it mean to be neglected? If it's just sitting in progress for too long or in a waiting, those sorts of things. Set due dates for the critical tickets. If it has to be done by the end of the 3rd week of the quarter, set a due date. If we don't hit this milestone of this ticket by that date, everything else is off track or at risk of getting completed. Set those due dates so you can monitor that. You can set visual rules for perhaps if people are doing service and project and sales and marketing in these rocks, you could have different colors for the different types of work, so they can see that moving forward. Looking at borders, backgrounds, colors, all sorts of things you can do in TopLeft. Another one is minimizing the work in progress. So people are doing fewer things at once. That ticket on that rock shouldn't stay open for weeks and weeks along with all the other tickets where they're multitasking and cherry picking. Is be able to grab one, finish it, and then on to the next ticket in their TopLeft board. So minimize the work in progress, and that's how we improve velocity. And then another tip is treat the rock work as important as client work. If we don't get these company improvements done, we're off track on our growth goals. And that's important, to be investing into our clients and into our people, into our team. So to summarize, when you set your team up to win with effective and efficient flow, you'll see things transform. And we spin that around, when they can see the work, they can transform things so they'll be effective and efficient, and your company will grow. So 2 things to wrap this up. If you want to see how the visualization works and look through some of your processes and workloads, schedule a demo. There's a link below. Number 2, subscribe and to watch more videos. I'm working on putting out videos every week around lean, agile, related topics, thought leadership for MSPs.